Over the last 7 or 8 years, there have been a handful of Jurassic World games released to the public. Most of them have been park builders, and even park builders on a mobile level. There have also been a few other games, specifically the Lego entry and Primal Ops, which kind of went nowhere, but there are some other cool dinosaur games in development right now that, if I'm being completely honest, actually utilize the Jurassic Park tone and feel to their advantage in a way that I think is more accurate to the movies and source material. And there's some new gameplay and a trailer out for one that we covered a few years ago called Deathground. What's going on, guys? Hope you're all doing well. Now, for today's video, I wanted to go over the new information surrounding this game because back in 2020, believe it or not, we actually got a trailer and some information on a squad-based survival horror Jurassic Park styled dinosaur game that kept using the Dino Crisis moniker that I'm sure you've heard all of these games kind of use to boost itself in notoriety. Well, some new information and gameplay has been coming out on the video game, and in my personal opinion, it's looking pretty great. One of the coolest things about Deathground is that it looks like it's going to be a squad-based game that takes inspiration from Alien Isolation, which itself has been something that people have wanted Jurassic Park to utilize for years now. And like I said before, this looks extremely appealing. Now, they've actually overhauled most of their dinosaurs. They've even given the Raptors feathers and a bit more of a menacing look, if I'm being honest with you. They've got glowing red eyes and they stalk about the place. So if you can imagine playing this online with some of your buddies, and it literally looks like you're in the worker village from the Lost World Jurassic Park sometimes. The vibes of this thing are very eerie and cool in my opinion. That being said, I do think it is a shame that Jurassic Park has not capitalized on this kind of tone and material for their own, their own stuff. But I've gone over operations that Chronodicon's been working on for years now. So if we're going to actually talk about Deathground in full and what you can expect, it's on the Steam wishlist right now, and it looks like it's going to scratch that itch for Jurassic-styled survival horror gameplay. If we go over to their official website, they actually have some cool information that's been updated. This is a dinosaur survival horror game. It's a solo or co-op survival game that throws players into a desperate battle for survival against deadly AI dinosaurs, like the Tyrannosaurus Rex, which I personally think looks pretty cool right here. Now, like I said before, it is squad-based, and you could get help from some of your friends, I suppose, sneaking around the place. It's going to have what they call intense and replayable gameplay, unpredictable AI dinosaurs, special character classes, and it's going to be truly terrifying with realistic and diverse environments, or so they say, and it's got an original soundtrack, but you know what, we expected that. Now, like I said before, this all started on Kickstarter back in July of 2020, and they have on their website it was very successful. Deathground is going to launch into full production and start their own fantastic community of backers and fans, and you can find out more about their campaign on the website. It is looking like this is finally coming to fruition. I know it took a little bit of time, but this is kind of what everyone's been asking for from Jurassic, so it is exciting. Additionally, you can now have the game on your Steam wishlist or join the Discord server, and if you haven't seen it already, it is very much so like Alien Isolation. This is going to be a game that I think takes the Jurassic Park stuff fans want, throws it in there with the Alien stuff, and just kind of creates a squad-based system that I think a lot of people are going to have fun with. It does seem to be very much so inspired by the more Michael Crichton-styled laboratory environments of dinosaurs stalking around the place to attack people. Now, if you're actually sitting there ready to play the game, of course you're going to have to coordinate with other characters and getting jobs done. Maybe even something like Friday the 13th the game to some degree, but I'm gonna hammer this home a lot in the video. It does look a lot like Alien Isolation, only take the xenomorph out of it and throw in a velociraptor. Now, I love the environments. What we've seen so far is very atmospheric, and it has a very cool sense of tension that I have wanted to play in a game like this for a while. Now, the whole idea of Jurassic Park games like this, they've been trying to make something like this, but it always gets canceled, and this has been over the course of, like I said, 7 or 8 years, so you should definitely be interested if you are a fan like me of classic Jurassic material, but have been a little let down by the trajectory of the video games that they've been releasing over the last few years. Also, just as a shout out, I know it's not what the video is particularly on, but if you're interested in other like-minded games, check out Instinction or Compound Fracture. these are both looking to be extremely interesting. There's also Dino Trauma, which I got for myself on Steam. What can you expect to see if you get Deathground? Well, I think this is going to take away the whole idea of a Turok or dinosaur shooter sort of aspect in these games, and it's going to take us back to more of a very, and I mean this like quite literally, very quiet, very basic environment where dinosaurs are just stalking around. You have to hide inside of lockers and under tables or something like that and get away from them attempting to kill you. Graphically, I think it looks pretty good, and truth be told, if this thing had the Jurassic Park paint job on it, which please, if the developers are listening, please allow modding. I don't know if that's possible for an online experience, but can you imagine if we threw the Velociraptor skins from the Lost World on here, and the people, you could play as like Nick Van Owen or Sarah Harding, like going around the place while raptors attack you. That sounds really fun. I don't know if that's possible, but the base game does look to be something that I think a lot of people are going to enjoy, myself included. And I think if you're looking for something extremely comprehensive and kind of, you know, expansive on a AAA level, this doesn't seem to have a very big story component, and it's just going to be kind of like very much so an isolated experience where you're walking around corners and trying not to get killed by dinosaurs. So it's more gameplay focused than really driven by other aspects that you would see in modern AAA gaming. I will say probably the thing that I'm most concerned about the gameplay so far is the fact that it doesn't look to be so expansive as other things that I've seen before in the past. But maybe that's just because they haven't shown very much of it. I do like what I see, but I think so far the game is very much so going to be a repeatable sort of experience, which that can be very fun for people. I loved Friday the 13th, the game. I played it a lot back in the day and even live streamed it with Terradome 3000. But this seems to be a similar sort of basic gameplay, which could be fun if you're just trying to lay back with friends and enjoy some time together. Kind of like Predator Hunting Grounds, if you guys know what that is. Bottom line, I think Deathground is actually the Jurassic Park styled game that fans have been waiting for, in a similar way to Jurassic Park Operations that unfortunately got canceled recently, and it's going to be turned into something else down the line. People really do want scary dinosaur material, and I just kind of wish that we got more of it in the actual Jurassic World movies, because looking back over the last few years, the only time that I actually think they did a good job of that was something like the Indoraptor inside of the mansion. And just throw this out here, talk about a mod, maybe you could actually have people walking around the, you know, a Judiceratops skull and have the Indoraptor chasing them, but that's just an opinion, man. That's just something that you could throw out there. Anyways, guys, those are all just my own thoughts and feelings and some slight concerns about Deathground, the game that we talked about 3 years ago, and it's finally getting a little more traction. I did give some suggestions for other dinosaur games that are on the horizon I think you guys will enjoy. But yeah, whatever your own thoughts and opinions happen to be, I'd love to hear all about them in the comments down below. Now, before I go, I want to thank everyone that's helped me build my channel over the years. I'd also like to thank every one of you guys who've watched my stuff. You've all been extremely cool to me. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a like and hope that you'll consider subscribing. God bless you all. Christ is King. See you guys in the next video, and as always, take it easy.